let me ask you something. What was the last time you felt fully confident in a conversation with a woman? And I mean in real life, and fully present and steady in your shoes, not trying to be mysterious or performing a version of you that you think has success with women, or hoping that she's not going to ask the wrong question. I mean just present, right? Giving her the full attention. If you had to think about that for more than 2 seconds, well, this video is for you. Because what I've noticed after 8 years inside this very community, the men who struggle the most with confidence are not struggling because they lack skills or because they lack looks or six packs, abs, or intelligence. No, they are actually struggling because they are spending an enormous amount of energy hiding a part of themselves every single day. And that hiding, that private split between who you are in public and who you are alone at midnight is costing you more than you think. So today I want to talk about what it is actually costing you, why it works the way it does from a psychological point of view, and also what changes when that stops. And also I want to tell you that I'm actually speaking from experience. This is something that I've lived. So I'm speaking from my own side of it. All right, so stay with me. But before I get into this, I have a quick note for anyone who's been on the wait list for the 14-day self-command reset. If you've been waiting for the doors to open again, you have a very short window. I'm talking probably less than 24 hours since this video is going up. The upgraded version, the version 2.0, it has completely updated workbook, it has new videos, stronger support, is available right now at a lower price than what everybody else will pay. Okay, so this is a pre-launch only for the people who joined the wait list. Now, if that is you, check your email. Again, we're talking about less than 24 hours. Everybody else will get the opportunity to join also soon at full price. If you are not ready to invest right now, that's totally fine. Also in the description, you're going to find the link to the King Shame Exit Kit. It's free, it's practical, so you can start right there. All right? Cool. Now let's get into it. So if you've been hiding your fetish, and if you're continuing to watch my videos, you probably have been. You already know what I'm talking about. You know the feeling of being in a conversation and then something in you is slightly elsewhere. It's monitoring, making sure nothing inappropriate slips, making sure she won't think you're weird. You know what it's like to scroll for 2 hours and then feel that drop afterwards. Shame about yourself. You know what it's like to want a real connection, to want to be with a real woman in real life, to have a real relationship, and then always retreating back to the screen instead, because the screen is safe. While real people can find out and real people can also leave. Real people, right, women, can judge. So that's why you hide. And then you tell yourself it's fine, that you are managing. You tell yourself that you are being wise and that it is a private thing and it doesn't affect the rest of your life. But you know what? It does affect your life. And it's not the foot fetish that is costing you your confidence. It is the hiding and the constant lying to your own self. So let me tell you now my version of this, because I did have one, okay? Until I was around 28 years old. I lived, guys, my entire life believing that if people really saw who I am, an attractive woman with a high sexual charge, my life would be completely ruined. And I would be called a slut. And no one would ever take me seriously. And I would lose everything. So what I did is what everybody does in that situation when they don't know better. I spent years performing the exact opposite. I fought against those imaginary judges so much, constantly, trying to prove that I was more than they assumed, that I was smart, not just pretty. That is why I went to university. And I got a degree in mathematics, not because I wanted it, but because I was performing respectability. I spent 4 years of my life studying something I was never going to practice in life. I was conditioned into that belief by a religious grandmother who shamed anything sexual, by boys who called me names simply for existing, by a world that told me that my nature was dangerous. So back in 2018, when I started creating content, what began as something I thought was decent and creative slowly became a little more sexual than I planned. And I was ashamed of that. Even doing certain videos, I felt limited and very uncomfortable, like I was doing something wrong just by being myself. Until one day, when something shifted abruptly, kind of like a lightning bolt hit me. A deeper voice, one that sounded completely different from the shame voice, said in my head, "Just forget it and do it. See what happens." So I did it. I did the thing I was most afraid of in my entire life. I dropped my inhibitions and I fully embraced my sexual nature. I stopped editing myself for other people's comfort. And what I was most afraid would happen did not actually happen. My life did not get ruined. Go figure. Yeah, people still commented ugly things sometimes. They still called me names sometimes and tried to shame me. But something deeper changed. Those words did not land the same way anymore. They just passed beside me like wind, like a breeze. Because I had integrated that part of me that I was hiding before. And when you integrate something instead of suppressing it, it stops having power over you. That was the moment I became grounded, truly grounded for the first time. That was the moment when I finally started to feel whole. And I stopped judging others. I stopped judging myself. And I experienced for the first time in my life a real and lasting sense of peace. I created adult content for almost 8 years after that, guys. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. I loved it. And I had a lot of fun playing with it. And just recently I stopped, but not because there was something wrong with it. I stopped because I realized that journey and everything I learned from being on both sides of this was more valuable here with you. Now, let me explain why I'm actually sharing this with you and why this isn't just my story. This is actually how your brain works. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists in history, described a concept called the shadow. The shadow is the part of yourself you refuse to look at. You refuse to face that part that you continue to suppress, to hide, or just pretend it doesn't even exist. And here's what he discovered. Those parts, those shadows, don't disappear when you hide them. Instead, they get louder. And they operate underneath your awareness, pulling your behavior in directions you cannot explain. And also, guys, they drain such a big amount of energy just to keep it contained. Sounds familiar? Also, I want to share with you, there's this research in psychology that shows that the more you try not to think about something, the more intrusive that thought becomes. Like, if I tell you right now, don't think about a pink elephant, what are you thinking about? Your mind just thought about a pink elephant, didn't it? That's why suppression doesn't work. It just backfires every single time. And this applies directly to what you are experiencing. The men in this community who try the hardest to stop, who use shame and willpower and harsh self-talk, are the ones who stay in the loop the longest. Because suppression is the wrong tool, guys. So what does this have to do with confidence? Well, real confidence requires full presence. It requires being able to walk into a room and not be managing something in the background. Because when you are hiding a significant part of yourself, you can't be fully present. You just can't. Part of your mind is always somewhere else. It's guarding, it's measuring, it's monitoring, it's trying to control, making sure that things don't just slip out. And honestly, that is exhausting. It's loading your mind unnecessarily. It uses the exact bandwidth you need for conversations, for dating, for being seen, for really paying attention to the woman in front of you and just showing up. Research on people who hide stigmatized identities constantly shows this. Lower self-esteem, higher anxiety, significantly less confidence in social situations. And again, guys, it's because of the hiding itself. This is why men in this community tell me things like this. They tell me, I feel confident in some areas of my life, but something always feels off. I fall apart in dating even when things are going well in my life. I second guess myself constantly and I don't know why. It's not a mystery, guys. You are running a background program that is consuming so much bandwidth you need for everything else, for going out, for dating, for building yourself, your body, your, I don't know, your business, your career, your job, your dreams. All right? So now listen, if what I'm describing sounds exactly like where you are and you want a structured way to start working through this, the 14-day self-command reset is what I built for exactly this. The link for the waitlist is below and you have less than 24 hours at this price for this upgraded version. And if you want to start for free right now, the Kink Shame Exit Kit is also in the description. If you want to support the show, you can join my Patreon. The link is in the description also. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Cool, so let's keep going because I'm not done with you yet. I want to make this as concrete as possible. Now, guys, when you're hiding, like really hiding a part of you, here's what you are actually paying. You pay in conversations, okay? So you are present, but not completely present. You do try to laugh at the right moments. You say probably the right things, but there is a glass wall between you and everybody else. And you can feel it, and most of the times, the people can feel it too. You also pay in dating. You want real connection, you crave it, but every time it starts to get real, something in you pulls back. You brace because real closeness means someone might actually find out. So what do? You self-sabotage, or you disappear, or you just hide again and choose to go back to the screen because the screen is not going to leave you and is not going to break your heart. You also pay in how you feel when you look in the mirror, not just after a slip, all the freaking time. The background hum of not being fully real, of performing a version of yourself that is just slightly edited, slightly managed, slightly less than the whole thing, but never fully authentic. And you pay in self-trust. Every time you say you will stop and you do not, the story gets only louder. See, I can't do this. See, this is who I am. See, I will always be like this. I'm just hopeless. That story. That's what it actually destroys confidence, not the fact that you like feet. So, what changes when you stop hiding? When you stop hiding, just stop hiding, not trying to remove what you like, the fact that you like feet. Well, I'm going to tell you something that I noticed and what I've seen in the men going through the 14-day self-command reset. Well, first thing, the bandwidth comes back. The part of your mind that was always occupied with monitoring and guarding, that energy becomes available for you again. It becomes available for focus, for your goals, for showing up in conversations without always managing a background program. And second, you stop flinching. When you've integrated something, a shadow part of you, when you have looked at it clearly and stopped fighting it, you know what happens? It loses its grip on you. You stop expecting to be exposed. You stop bracing. And when you stop bracing, you start being more present. And women like it when you are actually with them, body but also mind. Okay? When you are there with them and not in your head. Third, real confidence starts to build. Real confidence, not the kind you just perform. The quiet kind, the kind that comes from knowing you showed up honestly. You're going to even discover some new things, like you have integrity, okay? Which starts by keeping one small agreement with yourself. And that's how you realize you can actually become someone you can trust. One of the first men that went through the 14 Day of Self-Command told me, I realized I can control myself and stop whenever I want. That was his biggest win. So see what happened there? He didn't say that his desire disappeared, but he stopped being at war with himself over his desire. He stopped fighting it. And also that quiet internal shift, that is what starts showing up everywhere else. In how he carries himself, in how he talks to women, in how he walks into a room. There's actually a universal law about this, and it's called the law of correspondence, which says, as within, so without, as above, so below. You probably heard about this. But what it means is that what you experience on the inside will always eventually show up on the outside. When the private war quiets down, when you stop spending your energy on hiding, when you stop turning yourself into the enemy, something starts coming back online. Your focus, your presence, your ability to be known by a woman without panicking, okay? Your confidence, your drive to put energy in building yourself and in your goals. And also all of that is happening naturally because you became whole. You're not so fragmented anymore. And again, you don't have to fight for it. You don't have to force it. It just comes naturally. You experience what people call flow. Now, I want to be very clear about something, okay? I'm not telling you you should announce your fetish into the world. That's not what this is about. I'm not telling you that the compulsion is fine as it is. The hours of scrolling, the novelty hunts, I know you guys are doing that. The saving of things you never go back to. And the shame spiral when you think about how much time you spend doing all of that, okay? That part, that is what we're working on. The fact that you like feet is just a unique part of you that makes you you, and it's quite normal, actually. So the enemy is the hiding, the suppression, the tug of war with yourself, the shame that says that you are disgusting for existing. Okay? Real talk, you were born this way. You're not going to change this. You can't. This wiring was in place before you had a choice about it. And you've spent years, maybe decades, fighting something that was never going to go away. It's not even supposed to go away. You are born perfect. How you are perfect already. The fighting with this part of you is just soul draining, okay? Not the feet. The 14-day self-command is for you if you are ready to put all of that behind and get your focus back. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you already know that I'm not here to shame you. I'm here because I saw what this pattern was doing to real men. Men who are actually brilliant and funny. Men who are capable and quietly, unfortunately, hollowed out in private because they're ashamed of something that's not even wrong. They're stuck between wanting romantic connection and retreating every single time. I built the 14-day self-command reset to give you a structured way out of that. through understanding, through introspection, through evidence, and daily honest work. And I'm telling you today, this version, the version 2.0, is significantly better than what we launched in April. I updated the workbooks, I added new videos, clearer guidance, and stronger support. If you are on the wait list, you have a very short window, less than 24 hours from where this video goes up. The link to join the wait list is in the description, and your email has the details. If you are not ready to join right now, that's totally fine. I completely understand. Start with the free Kink Shame Exit Kit that you can also find in the description below. It's real, it works, and it will give you the first tool you need to start interrupting the loop today. If you want to support this work directly while I keep building, Patreon is also linked below. Every little support makes it possible to keep showing up for this community that so much deserves help. Whatever you do, do not leave this video and go back to the same thing. You watched this video for a reason, so I want you to honor that. Recognize that pull towards this kind of content. The version of you that is not hiding, he already exists, he is already there in you. This work is just about letting him show up. That's it. And one more thing, if you made it all the way here, do me a favor, just drop one word. Drop the word whole in the comments. It tells me that you stayed with me until the end, and that you listened, and that this message landed. So, I hope this video helped you understand yourself a little better. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.